Unit-59. By the year 2025. In this unit, we look to the future, what we think will happen, and how we think we'll be living. We meet Bruce Sterling, who is a writer of science fiction, and get his views on the future. Exercise 2. Listen and read. This is how we predict the future.
What will have happened by the year 2010?
I will have gone to live in Australia. I hope we will have learned how to get on with each other. I believe a lot of people will have decided to work from home. I think life won't have got any better than it is now.
Exercise 3. Listen and write. What do Natalie and Kevin think the world will be like in 2025?
What will the world be like in the year 2025? What will have happened? What do you think, Natalie?
I think the population of the world will have increased, and the major cities will have become much bigger.
What about you, Kevin?
Well, I hope that a lot of things will have improved.
Such as?
I hope we'll have found the answer to our traffic problems. And I hope that doctors will have discovered more ways to cure serious illnesses and diseases.
And I hope that people will have learned how to live in peace.
Exercise 4. Listen and number. We asked 7 people to tell us what they will have done by this time next month.
I hope I will have been on holiday to Cuba.
I will have directed my first play.
By this time next month, I'll have packed my stuff to go to Zimbabwe.
I will have appointed 17 new teachers.
I will probably have gone bankrupt unless I get a job in the next 2 weeks.
I will have had my wisdom teeth out.
Oh, I will have turned 30.
Exercise 5. Listen and complete the chart. A proud father has lots of ideas about his daughter's future.
She's a very nice baby.
She's an extraordinary baby. Extremely intelligent.
Really?
Oh, yes. She is going to be an amazing person.
Oh.
Yes, indeed. By the time she's 3 years old, my little girl would have learnt to read and write. She'll have finished school by the time she's 11. And by the time she's 15, she will have graduated from university. And by the time she's 21, she will have become Prime Minister.
And by 10 o'clock tonight, I still won't have had any breakfast.
Exercise 6. Listen and read. How do we express feelings and interests? Listen.
I like good food, but I don't like cooking.
I'm not interested in money, but I am interested in helping others.
The children love late nights, but they hate getting up in the morning.
Exercise 8. Listen and tick. Bruce Sterling, a science fiction writer, tells us how he thinks people's lives will be affected by science.
I am an author and journalist, and I am a genre writer. I write science fiction novels. I'm interested in the sciences, and I'm interested in conveying to people what they really mean. I like to carry scientific thought into the fabric of daily life. I'm not interested in the sciences in the abstract. I want to talk and think about how they actually affect people in their daily lives. The way they dress, the way they work, what they do, how they react, how they live, how they die, how they eat, how they suffer. I'm interested in the human impact of technological innovation.
Exercise 9. Listen and read. How does Bruce work and relax? And how may it change in the future?
Now, I work at home, and I work on a computer. So I spend all day in front of a screen. And then to relax, I will often move into the other room and approach another screen, this time the television screen. But with one, I sit right before it, close enough to touch it. And with the other, I sit across the room and I address it with a remote control. Now these two screens have the same images, and they will increasingly share data. The question is, under what circumstances will I sit before them, and under which will I, lie down before them? And I think you will find the two merging as time goes on. You will find yourself doing more and more work on your television, and more work that's almost indistinguishable from play in a lot of ways. Already I find many of my social relations, the way I talk to people, is very electronic. It takes place through networks, it takes place through telephones, through fax machines. Eventually I will be seeing them on the television, and it will be difficult for me to tell work from play and work from parties.
Exercise 11. Listen and read. Bruce tells us how he thinks the role of culture and trade will change.
I suspect that by the year 2025, we may have forgotten all about the concept of nations. I really believe that we will have moved to the concept of trading blocks by 2025. And it's true that nationalism seems surprisingly powerful at this point in time, but I suspect that that won't last. That we will have moved to a society where national boundaries and even cultural boundaries are increasingly meaningless. They'll have less and less to do with people's loyalties, less and less to do with people's daily lives. I suspect that by 2025, the United Nations will have become a much more powerful force, but perhaps not under the same name. I think we will see some kind of environmental police force, an international force which has the power to interfere in local affairs if it feels that it serves the interest of the global environment.
Exercise 14. Listen and write. Which three things does he think will happen in Europe in the future?
I think the Europeans will have their open borders. I think they will have a one European currency, and I think they have a good chance of becoming the single most powerful trading bloc of the three I see coming.
Exercise 15. Bruce tells us how he thinks our lives will change in the future. Do you agree?
I believe we will have stopped wasting so many of our resources. I believe we will have installed much more recycling. I believe that our industries will have become much cleaner. They will have been redesigned from top to bottom to save energy, to save resources, to stop pollution. I believe we will take much more care about what we put into our environment in the way of chemicals and toxins. I believe also that our eating habits will change drastically. We will be eating material in 2025 that would be basically unrecognizable to anyone today. I think there will be a great vogue for artificial foods because they're cheap to make. I believe practices like slaughtering livestock for food will still be around, but they will have been abandoned in great extent, not because of moral reasons, but basically for financial reasons. There's simply not going to be room for enormous herds of cattle. We will have become more advanced, but we will not have become any more moral. I think we will still see the same hypocrisy, the same greed, the same basic animal traits that have always propelled humanity. But on the other hand, I don't believe we will have become any worse. And perhaps our increasing knowledge may bring us a little bit more wisdom.